Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The NAR annual conference registration was supposed to open up at 12 o'clock Central, which is 1 o'clock Eastern. And the link's not open yet. And so I'm totally stressed out. But hey, that's what we're here for. What's up, friends? This is your checkup, making sure that you are holding yourself and everybody around you accountable. I'm Leigh Brown. And you might want to hit share on this post. Go ahead and give me a like and a love so your friends will see it. Because if you remember way back when 2022 started, which feels like 5 minutes and simultaneously 5 million years ago, I did my big kicktail business planning session, got all of your feedback, and you said, yes, please, let's check in with each other because y'all know how this goes. Life just starts jumping and rolling, and suddenly half the year is freaking gone. And you've noticed people are already getting out of school, and your college kids are home. But look how many successes y'all have had. Let me call out some people who've had some wins. Abby has got several buyers under contract. Nice work. Amanda doubled her sales in her first 5 months. Adrienne found a team. Beth has gotten great social coverage. Christine is one transaction away from her halfway goal. And Christine, we're not even halfway. You got a whole month and a little bit to go. Dawn has gotten some new brokers and policy changes implemented. Another Dawn got capped out. Good job. Eddie belongs to the Sterling Society. Oh, Elizabeth, y'all, this is a huge one. 20 days sober. And she says she's going to kick alcoholism's ass. I seriously have goosebumps right now, Elizabeth, and I'm not going to start crying right away, but I'm kind of thinking about it because that's huge. And yeah, right. Give Elizabeth some hearts on that. That's amazing. Erin has successfully negotiated several clients. Diane got her taxes done. Hey, and got her extra money that we learned about from Chris Bird at the celebration event. Diana's ahead of goal. Heidi crushed an acquisition for a 1031 client. Way to go, Heidi. That's one of the things realtors do politically, by the way, that the world would never understand till they do one. And we are helping them get that done. Helena has made 30 new friends. Hey, I love this. I love that's Ibeth or Elizabeth, or you call yourself a Beth. I freaking love that. Has lost 20 pounds and has started working out regularly. High five to you. Your knees are thanking you. I know that. Jacqueline has gained some patience. Jacqueline, you're going to have to tell all of us where you got patience from. Karen has been more diligent with follow up. I love that. Karen has been helping others more. Look, y'all, your years are turning out great so far. Kim got Rookie of the Year for her association and company last year and was on track to exceed it. And can I just tell y'all, I wish that in the world we would stop calling grown people rookies. Why don't we just say the shining star of the year? I'm just going to throw that out there for y'all that are in leadership. That phrase makes you sound like you don't know what you're doing. Mandy has stayed positive. Look, that's a big win, sister. Melanie is currently doing well, but pipeline is slowing down and wants some help on that. Got you, friend. And Melissa has gotten some listings from farming, so good job. Melissa's beating her goals so far. Mike has done 3 months of in-house training and taught people how to do a better market analysis. High five, Mike. Bob is mentoring 5 agents currently to success. I love that. Cheryl got her best listing. I love it. Diakai, I don't know how to say your name, but it's beautiful. And you said, yes, you are being successful. I'll take a yes. We have Shay says she's making more time for her family and for herself because Shay has, y'all didn't know, she has kicked cancer's tail more than one time and she'll kick it again. And she knows how much every minute counts. And Stacy is slowly but surely getting people under contract. I saw Stacy yesterday, got to hug her neck, by the way. Sunny is putting new systems in place. Sylvia is hitting her goal for the first 6 months, and Tammy enjoyed more vacation time. So can I just tell y'all, that's what accountability is supposed to look like. You start with celebrating, and it's why we always say to eat dessert first. I mean, because isn't that dessert to hear somebody else be successful? And if you heard all of that and you now feel like a big old loser because you haven't gotten your goals done, let me just tell you, you're not a loser. One of my sweet ladies sent me a note this other day and she said she feels like a dud. And I said, why do you feel like a dud? You can't do everything. So let's talk about what we can do to help you right now. So I'm Leigh Brown. If we've never met, this is the accountability session for Kicktail, which is my annual online business planning session. And it's all free stuff. You're just here to hang out with Leigh Brown. Hey, what's up? And so we're going to answer some of your questions here. And for the questions I don't get to, because I love y'all, I got pages and pages of responses. because you're like me, you like free stuff. But if I don't get it answered today, that's what my Monday video drops are. I call it the 3M series, where I'm basically just answering your questions one by one. So let's talk about burnout, time management, focus. This is so many of your questions here. So let me just tell you that there is a secret to avoiding burnout. And the way to avoid burnout is to breathe. And I know this is basic, and I know that y'all will totally ignore me because this thing is poison. Y'all, social media is a poison. You develop scoliosis, and there's no cure for that until you turn the blasted thing off. And I don't mean anymore. I used to say silent. It's not silent. It's not airplane mode. It is cut the thing all the way off. Plug it in, bury it, put it in a drawer. I don't care. The only way you stop burning out is to breathe. Here's how I breathe. I hang out with my chickens. If y'all are watching my social post, you'll see the chickens show up. I will just go hang out with them. Do you know what's amazing about the chickens? They're down there going, and they talk all the time, which they're kind of like realtors in that regard. They're not listening to each other. Also kind of like realtors. And there's occasionally an aggressive one. Kind of like realtors. And I was going to make a very inappropriate comment. Should I make an inappropriate comment? You should probably tell me in the comments if I should or shouldn't, because, I'm trying to improve myself and be a better example. But sometimes if you are having a cocktail or a glass of hot tea with me, I will say things that are going to make you laugh, and I probably shouldn't say out loud. But anyway, I hang out with my chickens because, I need to take care of them first. And it's important to put somebody else in front of yourself if you want to avoid burnout. Part of the reason people burn out in today's world, y'all, is this narcissism that we have, okay? Narcissism is a problem where we expect everybody else to do what we want them to do, and we expect everybody else to cater to our needs and our desires. That's not a healthy way to live. Now, first of all, you need to have some Jesus in your life. You should go look after him first, right? And then you take care of some chickens too. And you can't not take care of your chickens, or else you will have dead chickens. And that's a bad thing. And that's why I had to kill that raccoon a couple of weeks ago, because he wanted my chickens. He wasn't going to have them. And that's focusing on something else. And it's something else that's not related to work. And so to make your burnout go away, find another hobby, find a friend, go for a run, go exercise, get some chickens, check your HOA documents first. But there are really important things that will help you take care of that. Your friends, your clients, your prospects will allow you the space. I promise you. In fact, I know that some of mine are on here. And if I said to the world, I've got a sinus infection, because I've had a sinus infection for the last week or so. And I texted one of my clients and I said, I'm completely unavailable for a minute because I am sick as a dog. And you know what he said? He said, well, I'm sorry you're sick. Get back to me when you can. Some people will go use another realtor. That's okay. Let them go. Some people would rather know that you're a human. That's a pretty good thing. And you won't be as burned out if you are in relationship with people, not just doing everything for them. The other thing that will help is when you turn this thing off, you'll turn it back on. All right. And then we're going to triage what we're doing. Don't check Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram first. You know why you go to those first? Because that's easy. Don't do easy things first. Do hard things first. You've read the book, Eat That Frog. That's Brian Tracy, I think. You've heard about big rocks. You hear about it. The reason we avoid doing the hard things first is because we're all allergic to doing hard things. I mean, heck, look at this generation of young people. They don't want to work. I know. I got 2 teenagers in my house. What do I make them do? Help with the chickens, help in the garden, and they work, and that's good for them, even if they complain, because one day they will know the value of this, which leads me to another way to help people get into their houses. As realtors, we got to do a better job of telling people it's okay to get a second job. It's okay to get an evening job waiting tables and set up a bank account and stash all of that money for your down payment. Y'all, down payment assistance is out there and it's available, but it's going to favor the people who are working and are working on their credit score and they're saving up some down payment money. And by the way, if you want to buy a house, stop buying the newest iPhone. Just hold that phone. If you spent $1,000 to get the new iPhone, that could have gone into your down payment account. And you probably shouldn't buy a car right now unless you have to, because cars are high. Everything's high, right? When it's inflationary times. Well, guess what? People are also being very nice to people who wait tables right now and bartenders, because they're very anxious to go out to eat and there's not enough workers. Get a second job, set aside that money. That will help people get involved in real estate, which protects their long-term stability. So one of your questions that y'all are asking Has the market peaked? What's coming next in the market? How do I help people in this market? Is the market going down? Let's see. Oh, how do I run a half marathon in under 2 hours? Bob, just run with Melissa more. I mean, honestly, she's way faster. And I only ran it one time under 2 hours. I could check that off my list. Now I can go slow. How do you get prepared for a changing market, a changing market, a changing market? Look, well, first of all, I bought myself a crystal ball because people keep asking what I should do for the changing market. And even though I am a Christian and I don't look to this for answers, okay? So let me just clear that up for you. I'm not doing any witchcraft over here. I'm just going to hold it because it'll remind y'all that when people ask you to tell the future, you can't. We're not cut out for that. What we are here to do is provide good information, to provide pros and cons. So I want you to know this about a changing market. As you're getting your goals in front of you for the rest of the year, first of all, you're going to have to keep working. I simultaneously say that while I tell you to turn your phone off and avoid burnout. Well, I forgot to tell you the rest of the secret is that if your phone is turned off for 3 hours and you leave it alone, I rabbit hole. When you do come back to your phone and you avoid all of those social sites for a hot minute and you come back, now you're going to triage your stuff. Go to your email first. You know where realtors go to email? They go to it last. Don't go to email last. Go to it first and look through. Ditch all the advertisements and the grocery store flyers. Ditch all the I can help you with coaching and save you $1,000 a month while you spend $3,000. No, put all that to the side and look for, I have a question about a house. I have a question about the market. Hey, how you doing? So look for the people, the humans in your real estate business that need to hear from you first. So go handle them and handle them with kindness and with love. And then you can go look at your advertisements later. But what I want you to realize is that when you have triaged your business and handled those hard phone calls and handled the new inquiries, you'll feel better, which makes you a better person to answer questions about the market. So when somebody asks you, hey, so when's the market going to crash? Because they tend to ask it like you're going to give them the one secret you're afraid to give everybody else. Remember, you're not here to predict the future. You do not have all the answers. So it's not a good idea to definitively say, well, the market is going to change on June the 30th. That's not how we roll. What you want to tell people is it depends as to what you should do. Should people sell right now? Well, do they have somewhere to go? Is it important in their time frame that they sell right now? Are they okay with missing out on some upside if the market continues to go up? Right? Those are important questions to ask. If somebody says, I can't lose $1, I'll refuse to sell at less than top dollar, then you also got to remind them that you don't know where the top of the market is. None of us know. We do know that the economy is in a really rough place at this moment, and it's likely to get a little rougher. And here's the skinny, y'all. Interest rates are up. They are expected to continue going up as the Fed fixes with the interest rates, trying to combat inflation. That's pretty much all they can do is change those monetary levers. The chances of us being at 7.5% interest by the end of the year are very strong. Now, it doesn't make me throw up in my mouth because my first house was 11 3/4. A lot of y'all that I see on here are older than I am. Hey, medium plus friends. And when you are older and you remember 18% interest, you've still got some good perspective. How about you share that with people? Let them know that what matters more than the rate is the monthly nut. So the way I'm explaining that to buyers is that it's not just the PITI, right? So principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. It's PITI plus, because everybody should have a little buffer zone over there because gas will continue to go up because we have not solved our fuel situation yet. And groceries will continue to go up because if y'all saw, we have some challenges with our wheat imports and we don't have full access to our arable land because that's where we've got some wind and solar farms and there's all these trade-offs that happen. And so as food costs go up, your buyers need to think about that. It doesn't mean they don't buy. Just be the one that says, think your way through the process, because if a rental is $1,800 and they can get a mortgage even right now for $1,500, is that $300 enough of a spread to help them get in the house? Well, what I would remind them too is being in a property is going to stabilize the payment. Rents are going to continue to rise with the demand going on, and mortgage payments stay the same. But make sure they budget for the plus, because I've never wanted somebody to be in a house and not be able to go out to eat once in a while. So think about those pieces. And if that person is waiting for prices to go down, I don't know when prices are going to go down. In the Charlotte area, they're still going up. Now, we're seeing fewer multiple offers, but there are still multiple offers. So when you're looking at a market condition, if prices go down, but interest rates are higher, well, you may have traded poorly, because the monthly nut has to be your focus, and help your buyers and sellers see that. And with your sellers, it's a little different because they're looking at the total dollars, not the monthly payment anymore when they're selling. And so for a home seller, how much upside are you willing to trade? We all know that you want to buy low and sell high, but with houses, it's a little different because it's emotional and it's long term. So you've got to get into education mode, friends. If you want to hit goals by the end of the year, be an educator, because the public desperately wants to know what the pros and cons are. They don't want you to decide for them. They're grown people. They can make good decisions, but give great perspective. I always like to look at things from a perspective standpoint. And I also want to remind my beloved realtors here, I've been in this 22 years. My dad got his license in 1978. My granddad built custom homes. I've been in and around real estate for a long time. Markets go up, markets go sideways, markets go down. But the average person out there, the normal human, lives in maybe 3 or 4 houses in their lifetime. They don't do houses every day like realtors do. So if somebody's going to stay in that house 7 to 10 years, the chances are the market in that time will go up and sideways and down, and then go up and sideways and down again. And that's okay. Because what matters is what? The monthly nut. Think about that Geico commercial. Have y'all seen the one where the lady's trying to show the buyer, here's your down payment, and the guy behind her says, but here's your monthly payment? Well, think about that, right? We often talk about down payment in real estate, and we seldom talk about monthly payments. So get smarter. And if you are a lender, I desperately need you to work with your realtors on this, because realtors have no business handing out monthly payments. I love y'all. Y'all are not financial gurus, okay? And so what I want you to do is partner up with your lender. I see that Jordan Yawn is on here with Atlantic Bay. Jordan is one of my favorite preferred lenders. And I called Jordan 2 days ago to talk about payment scenarios on a property so that I could talk to a buyer about it. That's my job. Talk to a financial pro based on a couple of scenarios to get an ish thing going on so we can educate the buyer before they get out into the world. Now, let's see. Does that help a little bit? All right. Oh, somebody made a sad face. Are you making a sad face because markets go up and markets go down? You probably are. Oh, I would also remind you on rentals. I had my amazing agents on my team have been doing a homework assignment where they have been visiting rental communities in the area to get a grasp on what rents are and what rental units look like. Can I just remind y'all of something? Now, I know that you think I'm 25, and I appreciate that because I'm not. But when I was a younger person, I lived in apartments. And I remember my college apartment in Carborough. I told a group about this in Raleigh yesterday because they're next to Carborough. Carborough is next to Chapel Hill, which is where UNC is. So anyway, my first apartment there, we had orange peel walls. If you don't know what orange peel walls are, friends, that is a textured wall. It's really cheap because you can roll it on. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hides imperfections, kind of like Spanx for an apartment. And then you had popcorn ceilings, and we know why popcorn, because you can just slap it on and it hides imperfections, right? So that will be the pantyhose. Pantyhose is your popcorn, and orange peel walls are your Spanx. Well, the carpet was disgusting and stained, but the landlord had run a vacuum over it, and we'd left with that. And then it had the laminate counters where the edge was peeling off. And if you got some super glue and a hair dryer, you could get it to stay back on there so it wouldn't flip off and catch you in the leg when you were walking by. And we had European cabinets. Y'all remember European cabinets? They were bisque on the front with that fake wood at the bottom. And there were cigarette butts up under the patio deck out there. And it was an interesting neighborhood. The neighbors were very interesting. There were lots of things to watch in the neighborhood. And it was cheap, and we were fine, and we managed it, right? But we didn't want to live there forever. We wanted to get out of there and get into our own place, as my roommate and I did. My concern right now, I'll be honest with you, is that some of these rentals are so nice that a lot of our young people don't see any reason to ever go buy because they can't get something purchasing as nice as they have with rental. So us as realtors need to be thinking about how people can regain that desire for home ownership, because they've forgotten how nice it is to own something and be able to paint your own walls and plant your own tomatoes and make something yours and have some pride of place, because homeowners are the ones that take care of the monuments in a neighborhood and make it look great and take care of each other. We've got to rebuild that, friends. And it worries me, social media, because social media wants to talk about renting forever. That just sounds dreadful to me. I need roots, all right? And maybe I'm just an old Southern woman, but I don't think it's a regional thing. I think it's an everybody thing. So anyway, I hope that y'all will do that. Go visit some rentals in your market so you will see what your clients see, and you can then compare that to what's available. But you may fall over dead when you see the prices of rents right now because it's crazy. Now, this says, I want to increase my price point. Well, if you would like to be a realtor who increases your price point, go hang out in the higher price point. First thing you want to do is go pull it up in your multiple listing service, which if you happen to be watching this and you're not a realtor, you probably thought the MLS was where we get house information. Look, here's the skinny. The MLS is an agreement of those of us who are members to cooperate with each other and compensate each other. Cooperation is an amazing thing. It's one of the best parts of being a realtor and a member of the MLS. And when that's you, then you get access to lots of information. So you could go back a 2-year period and pull up the highest price point in your market. Go cruise those neighborhoods. Get familiar with the neighborhoods and the builders, what the yards look like. Go visit the schools. It is the end of the school year, so you might aggravate the secretary, but you could pop in and say, what extracurricular activities do you have? What academic programs do you have? Are you a magnet? Go learn some things about an area. That's how you start to be the realtor of choice in an area, when you know more things. I'll tell you that yesterday was primary day in North Carolina, and I did a little bit of poll working for one of the candidates that I support, and he won his primary last night. And it's not all because of me, but I'm totally taking part of the credit. But part of the reason I like to go work polls is to be visible in the community and to learn things about my neighbors and about the schools. And that's how you start working a different price point, friends, is being visible and not being gross and disgusting all the time, because sometimes you just want to be a realtor who's, a neighbor too, and not just the shiny brass name tag running around saying, hey, who do you know that needs to buy or sell? Because that's gross. So please don't be gross and icky. And there's another question here about, let's see. Oh, that was another one about new leads. Oh, by the way, too, if you're the person who sends out postcards and calendars and this and such, it is very important that you send them out on a regular basis to the place where you'd like to prospect. I have a really good friend who lives in a very nice neighborhood. It's the kind where I really feel like a country bumpkin. And y'all know that I already feel like I'm very a fish out of water when I go to certain places like South Park Mall in Charlotte, because I'm a Marshall's girl. And when you're a Marshall's girl shopping at Louis Vuitton, you can feel very out of place. But it doesn't mean that you're not absolutely welcome there. That's in your head. I know that they would take my money if I would give it to them. I can't because I'm a Marshall's girl. But if you are in that space, remember that you're allowed to be there and you're welcome. You just have to get out of your own way. That's half of our problem in life, y'all. And so a lot of agents never prospect in luxury neighborhoods and luxury price points because you told yourself you weren't able to. Well, why don't you go visit? Because what if that homeowner, is a human who puts their pants on just like you do every day, or their skirt, or whichever one they wear is fine. But they might just want to meet a nice human who is a very good, knowledgeable professional. So stop it. Stop it. All right, let's see. You would like to have your passion reset. Leslie, are you on here needing to have your passion reset? Let me tell you what you need to do to reset your passion. First of all, take care of thyself. All right. What does taking care of yourself look like? I'm not going to go all the way down the rabbit hole, but I will tell you, you've got to cut back on the sugar, cut back on the carbs, eat more decent food that is vegetables and fruit and whole grains and decent protein and not so much processed crap. Stop eating fast food. Y'all, that stuff just weighs you down and makes you tired. And then you got to move. I feel better because I run in the morning and I don't want to run. So this is something you should know. I really don't want to. In fact, my girlfriend that I run with all the time, I texted her this morning and I said, I want to sleep. And she said, well, then let's skip. And I said, no, we can't skip. And she said, fine, we won't skip. And that's how our texts go pretty much every morning because we don't want to go. But what we've learned is this: the hardest part is getting started. And by the time you get to the end, you're always glad you did it. And that is where your passion comes back from. When you go take care of yourself, this body is a temple. And for some of y'all, you're not treating it like a temple. Look, you got one. Take care of it. Look, just take care of you, okay? You are very important and valuable, okay? I'm not telling you you have to be a size 0. I've never been a size 0 myself. The size doesn't matter, friends. It's the activity and the motion that matter. And also, you know how else I get my passion for that? I get to go hang out with my girlfriends and we chitter chatter and we talk about husbands and kids and the world and things. And we talk about the scriptures and we talk about birds and dogs. And we totally judge the people that we say hey to that don't say hey back. And that's pretty much how our runs go. And that fills me up in a way that I can't be filled up by work. Okay. Well, here's the thing. If you're taking care of what you eat in some way, and you don't have to be perfect, okay, just cut back a portion of the crap. Get rid of half the crap. That is your assignment from here to the end of the year. Cut half the crap, and then maybe you'll cut 3/4 if you're advanced. And then take care of yourself in some way, shape, or form, and then feed your soul. You want your passion back? Feed your soul. Do you know why so many people are sinners? Because we were made to be broken. We're just broken people. Nobody's perfect. But you know what the beauty is of broken people? That's how the light gets in. Think about that. It's broken people who get the light gets in. And if you have a little bit of Jesus in your life, look, y'all, it just makes things better. Oh, look, a message came in. How about that? All right. Now, let's talk about how else you get your passion back. If you're a realtor, I want you to say over in the comments, I'm proud to be a realtor, because it really matters that y'all understand how valuable your profession is. I think a lot of realtors forget that, and they get very burned out and exhausted. And they forget that without your kind, patient guidance with the pros and the cons of what's happening in the market and what their options are and what could make sense, they might lose hope. And when people lose hope, they don't know where to get it from. You have this ability to fill them up with confidence and with passion and with ideas and with what about this and what about this. And you're the one that when you go to Home Goods, you're out back there going, oh, this will look so cute on a front porch. You are giving people inspiration all the time. And you forget that sometimes because you've gotten beat down by multiple offers, and you've gotten beat down by a market that's wild, and you've gotten beat down by this being the most competitive time ever to be a realtor, because we have almost 1.6 million realtors in the country, and there's people always trying to shoot you down and take your business away through apps and websites. And I get it, it's exhausting. But without you, how many of your buyers would have given up and said, never mind? Maybe the people in your world have watched some people on social media, and I'm not going to call any names, but there are some realtors that on social media say things like, there's no inventory. Okay, so if you say there's no inventory, you just told somebody listening to you that they have nothing to buy. There's houses out there. They might not be perfect, but they could be made personal. Think about it. Maybe you're the realtor who said, oh, nothing's affordable. Oh, whoa, stop it with the dramatic talk. You are not Scarlett O'Hara on the steps and Gone with the Wind fussing about Ashley Wilkes. He wasn't worth a toot anyway. So quit being so daggum dramatic. There are houses out there. People can afford things if you will help them think through ideas and think through the process. The only exception probably be in the Bay Area, but I don't know how y'all afford anything out there. You should probably just move like the rest of California is. But anyway, when you look at the big scheme of things, how about instead of telling people there's nothing to buy and they can't afford it, that there are houses out there, let's figure out how it might work for you. And how about you tell people, well, it seems high, but let's figure out what options we might have. That's why you should be proud to be a realtor, because you're the one that gets to lean in there. And I want to give y'all an idea here, and you'll be seeing a more in-depth video about this coming soon, because it kind of drives me crazy that too many realtors have forgotten, for a lot of first-time buyers, that FHA loan, that 5% down conventional, that down payment assistance could be used on a duplex, a triplex, or a quad. Remember this, not everything is about single family houses. And if that first time buyer who's a nice young man all by himself, because y'all know a nice young man by himself buying a house is fixing to attract in a wife. It just happens that way. It's crazy. And so he's going to buy that duplex. He's going to live in one side, rent the other one out, become a property manager, and now somebody's helping pay the payment. That helps people with affordability when they've got some help on the mortgage. Or what if it's a triplex or a quad, live in one and rent the other ones out? You've also helped build their empire for the future, because that could be their first amazing investment property. Come on, realtors. Let's start thinking bigger. And by the way, you have a free financial resource. Well, not free. It's included with your realtor dues at financialwellness.realtor. If you don't understand investment properties, friends, no judgment. Go learn, though. You also don't have any excuses. I won't judge you, but you have no excuses. Okay. Now, let's see. Standing out in the market, Kathy. You know how you stand out in the market? Be out in the market. And I already mentioned to y'all I was working the polls yesterday. Some of y'all are not out there in your political environment because you don't like politics. Well, guess what, friends? If you're a realtor, politics likes you very well. Hey, why do politics like us? Because we are out there in the public. We're voters and we impact voters. We're out there where there's property taxes going on and zoning and everything else. Go be visible. Be a resource for people. If you're in a state where the primary has not happened yet, I'll use Texas, for example. Y'all have a primary election next week. If your county's got a school board race, county commission, city council, state house, call the candidates and say, hey, come on a Facebook Live with me and let me ask you some questions. And then use your mom text thread, because all moms have a mom text thread where the moms talk about things that we know and need to know. And you say to your mom text thread, what do y'all want to know from the school board? And then just moderate the discussion. That's how you can get your name out there and be very active in things that matter to your client base without being the gross, disgusting realtor who says, hey, got an open house this afternoon. Because you don't really have to be gross like that, but you should make sure your bio is up to date. So if you want to get your name out there, make sure that people know you're a realtor and they also know you're not disgusting. And also, if we want to stand out in the marketplace, let's be the honest realtor. Let's not fluff things. It's not a great time to buy or sell for everybody. It is a great time for some people. So you've got to learn how to answer the question of, should I buy? It depends. Should I sell? It depends. That's how you'll stand out right there. Let's see. I would like to stay positive while not being able to shoot unprofessional agents in a highly competitive market. Y'all know that came from Michigan, right, Stephanie? Girl, listen. And so if you want to handle unprofessional agents, how about we be more professional agents here? Y'all already logged in with me because you have a desire to be the best realtor possible in your market. I love you for that. And I hope that when your clients see that you're involved in a live stream right now, they understand you're here in a desire to provide a more excellent real estate service to the world. So that's awesome. And you also need to complete your commitment to excellence designation, which is another included benefit of being a realtor. But then you can put that on your social profiles and say, look, I spent some time becoming a better realtor because I can. And then when you're dealing with the agents that make you want to poke your eye out with a dull fork, I don't want you to poke their eye out with a dull fork. I want you to send them a message and say, hey, friend, if you too would like to become a better realtor, please check out c2ex.realtor. What if we as agents started inviting other agents to come along our journey of getting better with us instead of just talking smack about them along the highway? Yes, we have to be nicer. And you don't have to be nice forever, but at least one time, right? That's my rule of thumb. Now let's see. Business planning for the remainder of the year. Trisha asked a really good question. So for some of y'all, you knew at the beginning of the year you had to have a business plan. You still don't. I love you for that. And Kathy's here. I just answered your question. Hey, high five. That doesn't always happen. So woo. So I want you to think about this. If you want to do business planning for the rest of the year, you need to take a half a day, put it on your calendar. So where is your trusty calendar? You know, mine's right here because I really love the Simplified Planner. And so today is May 18th. I'm going to look at May 18th and I know what I have to get done today. And tomorrow you can block out 3 hours. Maybe it's from 8 to 11. Maybe it's from 9 to 12. Maybe you're a night owl. And so yours will be from 8 to 11 p.m. And in those 3 hours, I want you to have a hard look. I want you to download your credit card statement. I know. And then I want you to get a highlighter. Y'all know I love these little wooden highlighters. They're so stinking awesome, these stubby pencils. I want you to highlight all the money you wasted. Because if you want to be doing really good business planning, you have to stop leaking revenue. Some of y'all have leaks. A lot of leaks. In the South, we fix things with caulk and duct tape, and we fix squeaks with WD-40. I ain't talking about the squeaks right now. I'm talking about the leaks. Pull that credit card statement, highlight what needs to go, caulk it, get rid of it. If you've got Netflix and Hulu and YouTube Prime and Peacock, and I don't know who all else has streaming services, how many do you really need? Look, I know you think I'm being too much of a busybody now. I'm going to tell y'all something. The market is changing. And if interest rates do make their way up to 7.5%, 8%, your market will slow organically. That means whatever money you're making right now, you need to be very smart about it and stockpile it, and don't be frittering away on things that don't matter. Now, this is during your business planning time, all right? So as you're highlighting and you're going to go delete, and some of y'all will throw open your mouth a little bit. That's part of the process. This is basically pulling a Band-Aid off of that place on your leg where you cut it shaving, even though you've been shaving for 35 years, and you kind of are surprised that you cut your leg and you put a Band-Aid on and the hair grew back under the Band-Aid and you pulled it off and it hurt. That's what it is to download your credit statement. And by the way, you got teenagers, put them to sit there with you, show them how to look at a statement. Y'all, you're not training your kids really well. Train your kids. Show them how to balance a checkbook register. It's really important. So now that you're going to stop some of your budget leaks, I want you to look at your business leaks. You know what business leaks are? That would be a couple of these answers or questions in here about following up, giving clients quality time. Oh, Christine said, I'm letting deals slip through the cracks from not being persistent because I'm afraid of being annoying. Oh, what? Yes. So this is part of your business planning, right? So in your business planning with your trusty calendar, you should have an appointment every day for follow-up, and maybe it's just 1 hour. And if it's general follow-up, then that's general follow-up. But if it's somebody that you need to call back, as I have somebody I need to call back after our little live stream here, that person's name should have a separate appointment. So you want to have an appointment for general follow-up, and that's going to be for the random cold web leads and open house leads and the people that you have not yet gotten all warm and fuzzy with. And then you're going to have the named leads are the people you need to get back to. And by the way, let's don't call them leads, right? Anybody know my secret here? Think about everybody you call back as a neighbor, because if we would think about how we serve our neighbors, we would do a much better job as realtors. And by the way, that's also the secret to solving all the issues with fair housing. If we would think about everybody as a neighbor and remember that realtors, we serve every neighbor in every zip code with grace and with excellence. That changes everything. And that's also where you're going to start thinking about your business differently, because now you really want to make sure other people are taken care of. Because if your goal is to take care of every neighbor in every zip code, you want to do a great job, right? Don't you want to be amazing? So put that on your calendar. You might even put on there, be amazing. Could you be more amazing? I think we all can, because we're frankly all humans who make mistakes, and we should be getting better every day, because I really want to get better every day. And I know that you do too. And that's why you're here. So let's see what our next question here was on business planning. Okay. So now that we're looking at our calendars, I want you to look at the first part of the year. How many properties have you sold? All right. So most of you have a very good idea of what you have sold. If you don't know, I love you. Go to your MLS and pull it down so that you have a nice little spreadsheet, right? And when you have a little spreadsheet, you're also going to have to mark down where your folks came from, because it's really important to know the source of your business so you know where people came in. And if you don't have enough business, now you know what gaps to fill. If all of your business came from past clients, well, then you're going to have to make sure you're talking to the rest of your past clients, but also asking them, do you know somebody who needs some honest answers about the market? And I want to remind you about this. Don't just ask people if they need help buying and selling. What if you ask people if they would have somebody who needs some help answering questions about the market? Because that's where we are right now. People have questions and they don't know who to ask. Why don't you be that person? Okay. Now let's see. New ways to engage those past clients. Shay, it's like you asked a question I could answer right here on the spot. What? Now, you want to think about how we can engage past clients. How about you stop talking about houses all the time? I love y'all. Quit talking about houses and neighborhoods all the time. It's kind of exhausting how realtors like to talk about themselves, their houses, the houses they've sold, how awesome they are. And I love y'all, but that's not really what your clients are that interested in, is it? Because they're interested in themselves, and they're interested in what is really important to, themselves. What are you interested in? Oh, that's right, yourself, because that's why your social feeds are all about yourselves and how many houses you've sold. So I'll give you an example. I'm right here in Concord, North Carolina, here in my office, right? Do y'all know what happens in Salisbury, which is the next town north, on Saturday? Does anybody know? Guess what? It's the Cheer Wine Festival in Salisbury. I love the Cheerwine Festival. And did y'all see the headline act is Spin Doctors and Blues Travelers? So yes, we totally get people who had #1 hits 25 years ago because that's the budget we have, and that's fine. But I can eat Cheerwine pound cake. I can buy crafts from the people who have been in and around. I know where the good porta potties are. I know exactly where I like to park because it's kind of off the beaten path, but it's an easy walk over because I'm going to take my dad and his knee is messed up. And so I got to make sure I've got easy access for him, right? So I'm going to reach out to my past clients. I'm going to send them a little video that says you need to bring about $25 per person so you have enough cash to buy things from the little vendors, even though some of them have the tap and swipe. I'm an old person. I like cash. I spend too much when I tap and swipe. And you want to let them know where the porta potties are, where they could eat lunch if they want to sit down. That there's an independent bookstore right there. I love that little bookstore in downtown Salisbury right there on the main drag. Let them know where the artists are. Do they need to bring a chair? Do they need to bring a towel to sit on? When you start telling people how they can be involved in the community, that's what makes people respond, right? Excuse me. Woo. Into the sinus infection. Here we go. But when you give people something that's interesting, they're going to want to talk to you more. That's why they picked you as their realtor in the first place. You were probably very interesting when you went over to list the house or to help them buy the house. So share area information with them. In fact, yesterday I made a little post reminding people to vote in the primary because that's my job as a realtor. It's not just to be selling houses. It's to be very involved and engaged in my community. That's how you keep up with past clients, and it does bring value. Whenever you give people life and you help them connect to the community, that is valuable. And yes, Mark, because Cheerwine was born in 1917 and the festival is amazing. So sometime you should drive out to Salisbury and come to the Cheerwine Festival. It's so much fun. And you know, my son made it into the promotional video one year. So, I mean, they totally knew that was going to make me the promoter of the event ever from here on out. Okay, let's see. How to be your authentic self on social media, posting advice and video branding. All right, so I got to tell y'all, I am doing a whole free little video thingamajiggy bob here coming up soon. It's, oh, I put it sideways. Well, okay, so turn your head to the side this way. Turn your head to the side. It says Get Fearless with Video. It's a free 3-day live training. It's June 20, 21, 22. And I don't know why that's sideways, but don't y'all love that logo? Michelle, who is my amazing marketing queen, she got that done and I freaking love it. You can RSVP. There's the link. I guess you got to screen grab that and flip it around on your phone. So don't judge me too much for having it sideways. I probably could fix it, but I don't know how. So anyway, that's coming up very soon and I can't wait. So for those, oh, that, look, Sandra, there's you. And you asked me about that. Oh, this is like the best ever. So if you want to get better on video, come hang out with me there. But back to being your authentic self, you got to let go of some fear, y'all. I'm going to tell you, y'all all get that little screen grab there, and we'll pull it down because it's sideways and driving me crazy. In 3, 2, 1. I guess you can always go back in the video and screen grab it and move it. But I'm going to tell y'all a little secret about being authentic. Not everybody's going to like you. Some people are going to think you are like dragging nails down a chalkboard. Wait a minute, does that work anymore? Because young people have like smart boards. Okay, you know what everybody hates is the sound of a Crayola crayon when you're coloring and the paper got around the edge and it makes a little scratchy sound on the paper. Don't be that person, all right? But when you are that person, somebody's not going to like you. You need to learn how to say that's okay. In fact, the world needs to learn this. I was told a long time ago that I didn't have to please everybody and I wasn't going to please everybody, so let it go. Friends, this world was meant for all of us to be different so that we could find people who are our people. And some people are not our people and we can love them. But if you're a smart realtor who's networking, you'll connect the person who's not your people with somebody who is their people. We should be creating connectivity, but it doesn't mean you need to water yourself down and stop having opinions and stop being your awesome self, because the self that you are is really uniquely amazing. And it's not that you're going to be number one at everything. You're not. You're not great at everything. I hate to be the one to tell you and lick all the red off your candy, but some of y'all are just not that special at everything, but you're special at something. And then you're trying to be your authentic self. Let people see what is actually pretty interesting about you. It might be your past history. It might be your future dreams. It might be that you love poetry. Maybe you should be sharing some of your poetry once in a while. I've been rereading Keats here lately, and I read it differently as a medium-aged person than I did as a child who was forced to by Miss Philbeck in junior English. So Think about this. All right. Just go figure it out. But I was going to tell y'all my advice that I got. So one of my mentors is this older gentleman. He's probably medium plus, plus, plus. His name is David. And when I ran for office a couple of years ago, Dave, well, that was right after I lost, actually. And I was down because sometimes you fail. And I fail spectacularly. I don't like to fail in a little way. I like to fail in big public ways. Woo! And so David and I had a meeting, and he said, Leigh Brown, people are going to shoot arrows at you. Okay? Make sure they hit you in the backside. Although he didn't say backside, he actually said ass, and he refuses to acknowledge that now because he's a very good Christian man who does not cuss. And I said, but that's actually the kind of animal, and it's a noun, so you weren't really cussing. But he still can't. As I said, it's burned in my brain, dude. I remember it. But it was just a reminder. When you're out there doing, when you're fulfilling your business plan, when you're moving forward, when you're handling changes in the market, you might be moving forward before somebody else is, and they can't handle that. So they start shooting things at you. Let it go. Let them hit you. Let it bounce off and keep moving. This is the hardest thing, right? In fact, the hardest thing about running is consistency. The hardest thing about running is getting up and going when you don't want to. But guess what? If I run one time and never run again, I'm not going to get to experience the time with my friends. My head won't clear, and I won't have the freedom. Well, I would have the freedom to eat what I want to eat, but I wouldn't be able to justify it like I do now. So that's the secret to being your authentic self. Let arrows fall off of your backside. I don't want to take arrows in the front. I'll take them in the back. And frankly, I feel like that's what I get to do for realtors. It's why I do training, because sometimes y'all need somebody to give you a little bit of cover. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you some cover and help you go forward, because other people have given me cover, and some of y'all know exactly who you are. Let's see if there's anything else I should give you before we wrap up here. Sylvia needs more inventory. Become a builder. Talking about that with my business partner here earlier. And let's see. Beach market. Brittany, I made a video about beach markets on Monday. Go back to my Instagram and look at it. If you are in a second home or resort market, make sure that you're talking to people about the realities of flood insurance. And by the way, that's one of the things that realtors do politically is protect flood insurance. And you want to make sure you're talking about property management versus Airbnb versus VRBO. I have seldom found a realtor who's willing to openly give the pros and cons of each of those. And it's not that any one is the perfect solution. There's lots of solutions. Our job is to help people see all of the options. And starting out. All right, I'm just going to end on starting out, since I have been a long time since I started out in the business. When I got started in real estate, and this actually applies to you getting zhushed up for the rest of the year, my dad, who is retired, by the way, and you should know that it is possible to retire from real estate, even though you see 90-year-olds continuing to conduct business. Hopefully that's by choice and not because they have to, which is why financialwellness.realtor, go open your separate bank account. But what my dad said is that if you take care of people well, the money will find you. If you're starting out in the business, that's the biggest thing you have to get a hold of, is that you have to take care of the neighbors that you're serving, and then the money will figure itself out. And so that's putting ourselves into servant leadership. That's the most important thing for you to do starting out. The next most important thing for you to do starting out is work every day, because this is a real job. All right. And a lot of realtors do not think this is a real job. I don't know why. They treat it like a side hustle. We do not get to treat this like a side hustle, because you know what? When you are somebody who's helping a neighbor, you got to realize that what you're helping them with is what we talked about here before, right? That they are conducting a giant transaction that they do maybe 3 or 4 times in their life. That's how important you are. So don't treat this like a side hustle. Treat this with the care that matters. Remember, you've been granted the public trust. You are a fiduciary, and you came here because you're trying to be better. So what I want you to do is go dig out that plan that you made in January. Check something off your list. And if nothing got checked off, check something off right now. If you need anything, you know where to find me on all the social networks, because I can't resist myself. And if you need help, everything is sideways today. I got to go the other way. I did a coupon for my Leigh Brown University if y'all want that. This is the online module university for training. If you're a team leader and don't have time to train it, you can use Leigh Brown as your trainer, but there's a code there, 35 off at checkout, that will save you some money if you need help with systems and training and stuff. But regardless, if you need just a little boost, come say hey to me, because I might need a boost too. And I will tell y'all, it's kind of amazing how the Lord works, because I get these little meaningful messages from y'all, and it's always right on time. So I hope this kicktail thing was right on time for you. And by the way, before you get done with your computer today, registration is now open for the NAR meetings in Orlando. Go get registered so you can hug my neck there. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time.